To see everybody's smiling faces today. See, I try to do this left-handed and I'm so not ambidextrous. So here we are. I'm going to look at the two gentlemen in the back that always save my hide. Would one of you like to lead us in the invocation? Fred, you just got the point. You got voluntold.
Are we being on Zoom?
Yes, we are.
So up in the sexy shorts. About me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together in fellowship and to promote Rotary and our motto of service above self. And I especially give you all the credit for a great Camp Ryla, getting the kids to and from, and the faculty, the staff, getting them to and from camp. We had a great year, great weather. And again, thank you for the opportunities that are provided us to serve others. And let us never forget our motto of service above self. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. All right, if you will remain standing and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Do we have any? We don't have any guests other than our speaker today, and I will introduce him shortly. So, Steve, if you would like to do brags. Oh, there you go. He's gonna give you that. That mic.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna start off with Brother Benton Hall. You wearing a long sleeve shirt with shorts. What's the deal? You just made it convenient. You've been golfing today? Later, after Rotary. Yeah. All right, you want to brag about anything? Okay.
TCU beat Arkansas in baseball. It's a good one. We took my daughter, who was a cheerleader at Plano, to Arkansas, and we had this big parent-child thing, hundreds of people in this room. And they all spread out, they're bringing cheerleaders from Arkansas in, and they start that woo pig suey. And I'm in the row behind her, and she turns around and looks at me like, what the H is going on here? And I'm just like, hook 'em. 4 years of that.
TCU over the years has produced some pretty good baseball players. Visiting. Okay.
All right, this is Michelle. So I'm going to brag on my beloved kitty cat, who, bless her heart, survived at least 8 grand mal seizures this weekend, but she hasn't had one since about noon on Sunday. So I don't know what she ate or what happened there, but I did Thursday night. I took her. Well, they wouldn't give her any because I didn't want to go further than just the blood work. So I just wanted to think on it. And she'd only had one when I took her to the vet, and then she had a whole bunch more over the weekend. So, but she's on the mend.
Where did you take her?
To the only 24-hour ER that's right up in Allen. It's a Custer and 121 is where I took her, but she survived. Oh,
My daughter
yeah,
works in
more
an
than that.
ER.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody that came out to the Plano 150th birthday on Saturday and volunteered to do birthday cards, even though we got 2 hours rain shortened. So had to close out early, but it was good to see everybody out there, and everybody was having a good time until the city shut it down. There was lightning in McKinney. Joey, I think that's your fault because you live in McKinney and you were bringing us your weather.
That was my granddaughter's birthday party, and we actually were supposed to have it outdoors at Celebration Park, and we moved it to Kid Mania because of rain, and it didn't rain a drop where we were. It's actually beautiful.
Anybody want to brag over here? All right, Molly.
Hello. Well, we were at the 150th, but we had our own booth, Elephant Trunk Moving Supplies. But I do say that the Rotary booth was amazing. They moved those people in. They all got their cupcakes. It was pretty amazing. And I think HEB had donated 3,000 and they did give them all away. So it was a great event. And we had pinned the trunk on the elephant game. We had over 150 people play. And I say people because we had from this size to this size. And I wasn't expecting that many, so we had to do a second run for candy, which is what we were giving out. And we almost ran out and the people said, oh, we'd play for fun. And we would spin them around and it was a lot of fun and a lot of fun people came.
Shark on the other.
Pin the trunk
Trunk
on the elephant, but it was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Elephants will look pretty funny without trunks. Yeah. Anybody want to brag here? Huh? You don't have to. Okay.
I'm gonna brag about my health. I've kind of been absent for 4 weeks. I was in the hospital for a week. I had some problems with my colon, but we're all good. We're ready to rock. So I'm feeling better than ever. Thank you guys.
You think kidney stones are bad? Get gallstones. Oh, my God. What?
I have a really happy brag on Saturday. As trustee, I got to graduate Plano Senior High as well as Plano East and West. And all day long, yes, sir. I get the honor of handing those kids their diploma. And you know what? You have to have a doctorate but yes, all in our regalia, and it is very exciting. It is an all-day affair from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Was it indoors?
Yes, it was at the indoors at the Star. So, but it was awesome to see all those kids graduate and all those parents and how excited everybody was, and absolutely the best part about being a trustee.
That's awesome.
Well, Catherine, glad to see that you're out there enjoying your well-earned position as a school board trustee. Good job. So the buffet line, does anybody who got here late want to brag? Anybody in the buffet line want to brag?
Peter.
Peter does.
Hello, everyone. I haven't washed my car, so it's not raining. It rained 2 days ago. I have not lost my patience with insurance in America following our little storm that we had. It's nice to see all the roofs being replaced in our neighborhood. So it's going to be brand spanking new in a couple of weeks. Yeah, and generally, I think summer's arrived. I had my first swim. So that's it.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anybody online want to brag? Okay.
So I want to brag about Saturday. I volunteered for Plano's birthday. It was fun, and I got to understand more about the city and tell of good people. Yeah, and Robert was there too. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Is somebody online want to brag? No. Okay. I want to close out brags, public service announcement. It's going to be in start next week. So don't call me up and say my air conditioner won't run. You know, if you don't get some preventive maintenance done, it doesn't matter to me who does it. You may have your company that does it, but air conditioners run enough hours in a year. This is equivalent to a car going 75,000 miles. Would you drive your car 75,000 miles without doing any maintenance? I don't think so. So please do it. That way you don't sweat.
Thank you. Well, that's a great way to put it into perspective. I never thought about 75,000 miles on my car, and what is it, 3,000 miles, 3 months or 3,000 miles, you should get your oil change. I don't want to put him on the spot and he just put a bite of food in his mouth, but we do have a guest today after all. So Forrest is here to visit with us. Do you want to just give us a little who you are and why you're here?
Forrest Patterson. I got introduced to this group through DeAndre Allegra. Yes. And I got hooked up with Joy, and I've never been to a Rotary meeting, so I'm just absorbing what's happening, but I'm a financial planner with Northwestern Mutual, and so anyway, good to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
We're happy to have you. Well, it may not be everyone's view on it, but Forrest, I always recommend if you're looking for, if you like what you see today, we would love to have you as a member of our club, but I always recommend that you visit a few clubs to find the one that fits you. So they all have their own flavor.
We're the best.
We are the best. West is the best. I will do two quick little brags. So one today marks the 5th year that I've been a Nina. So for those of you that don't know, that's my name for my granddaughter and my grandson. So Olivia's 5 years old today. So she's sassy as ever. I don't remember my kids being such terrible little 4 and 5 year olds. I thought it was supposed to be just be the 2s, but anyways. And the other brag is that Jen, I think, announced last meeting that Janelle Berry Cook and I were elected to the board of Leadership Plano when we had our orientation yesterday, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to updates during brags after June 30th, when I don't have to stand up here in front of you anymore. That's another brag. I've got 3 meetings after today. I survived, or I won't say that yet. Yes. So on the Leadership Plano note, if you are interested, you can talk to Catherine, you can talk to myself, you could talk to LaShawn, she's not here today. But we would be more than happy to share. Applications are open right now for class 40, and I'm told it's going to be a huge celebration. They've got all kinds of fun stuff planned for the class, but applications are due by June 15th. So it takes some thought to fill out those applications. It's pretty competitive. So, but if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you about it. It has been life-changing for me.
Isn't it age restricted?
No, it is not.
Does it cap out on the high side?
No. No, you can be any age. They have a youth leadership, and that's for the younger, like I think 23-ish, 24-ish is the max. I may be wrong on that age, but yes, the youth does max out, but Leadership Plano does not. It does not. You just have to have a heart for service and be able to write a good application. Be willing to commit 1 day a month to sit and learn all about this wonderful city that we live in. So with that, on club business, the only service project, crazy enough, that is left for this month is Collin County Juneteenth celebration. So if anyone's interested in signing up for that, please visit the website and go to the Sign Up Genius link to sign up for that. And then John mentioned the wonderful turnout for the Plano's 150th celebration. Here are a couple pictures. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jen, our public image chair, has been really, really phenomenal about, oh, Clint, did I put that in the slide deck?
No, I don't think.
Shoot.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think I did. I forgot. No, I didn't. Shoot.
I forgot to.
She posts stories. We have a blog. For those of you that don't know, Plano West has a blog and she posts stories. So she posts this really great article about the turnout for the 150th with this cute little picture up here of all the cards that the participants made. But I think I'm super proud of our club because they turned out in numbers, and I think it was awesome. On that note, I guess I've neglected to put the slide in, even though Don't think so, not yet.
Are you talking about
The award.
award? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put it in there, even though Glenn sent it to me yesterday if in case I wanted to share, but Plano West was one of 10, 8 or 10 recipients that were recognized for fantastic public image presence for the entire year. So. And yes, that is all Jen. That is all Jen. Kelly helped in the beginning and then she had work commitments and had to step down, but yeah, Jen is a rock star with public image. So just a reminder, this Friday, a few people have signed up for the happy hour at Senor Locos Tex-Mex. I was going to go, but had something come up at work, so I'm not going to be able to be there. But if you guys are able, I'm sure they would love to have you. It's always a fun time. When we get to sit and visit about just whatever, we don't, you know, where you don't have anybody standing in front of you with a mic saying, okay, and next we have, you get to just visit and have a good time. The next thing is, so Thursday, the 29th is the installation for our district governor and the leadership team. So the Tamara, our upcoming president, will be installed that evening. So if you want to go and show support for her, please go online and register. It is kind of expensive. It's $70 a person, but it's a fun night. I went last year. It's a very nice multi-course meal and a great opportunity to hang out with our other Rotarians in our district. There are a lot of great people in our district. So I'm looking forward to it. Poor Fred, it was my date last year. And he still picks on me about not going places without someone I know right beside me. But did you notice I was a big girl? I didn't force you to, ask you to go this. She was our chauffeur. You were my date. She was my chauffeur. No, I think it's going to be fun. Anyways, we'd love for you guys to go. And then the baseball game is July 22nd. So if you guys want to attend that with others in the district, it's supposed to be a really fun time. Unfortunately, I can't make that either. And next is the district nominations. So this is one of the nominations, or at this awards meeting is when we will be recognized for that public image award, in addition to all of the other awards that Glenn was telling us about last week. So if you have any questions on the nominations, you can ask Glenn, because he would be the resident expert on that.
Also, no, I got one. I don't think it's on here, no. So this Saturday is a roundtable. And it should be a brag. It's our Michelle and I's last roundtable to do our thing we do. So they're great. They're great. But I've been running AV on all of them, and she's been we've been doing a lot of stuff all year. And but this Saturday here in Plano is the last, and it's going to be kind of a celebration. So DG Howard is going to, District Governor Howard is going to recognize the leaders in the district, and since it's at the church, we'll have non-alcoholic toasts and things like that. But it'll be fun.
I'm sorry, I neglected to put that on there too. I will be there. I'm planning on being there. Yes. D has been getting after me for not going. But yes, I actually got the honor of helping when Michelle and Glenn went to do the eyeglasses thing. And it is a lot of work. All I did was Michelle's job and was just kind of on standby to help. It is a lot of work, and I applaud you guys for putting a full year in with all that you've done as district governor aides this past year. Y'all have been amazing.
3 more weeks.
But who's counting? I keep saying that. I've enjoyed being president. I really, really have, but I want to be able to sit and visit everybody. So moving right along, I will introduce our phenomenal speaker, Don Armstrong. So I hope I don't say this incorrectly because my tongue can get tied easily. From an agronomist, okay, professional working for one of the most well-known country clubs in the United States, Colonial Country Club, to a cancer survivor, marathon runner, passionate advocate for raising awareness and money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Don's journey is one filled with multiple twists and turns. He shares the life lessons he has learned in each chapter of his story to inspire action from those who hear him speak. And a fun fact, which kind of goes in line with his introduction, a fun fact about Don is that he went to college to learn how to grow grass. Not the funny grass. It just occurred to me. Yeah. So if you will join me in welcoming Don.
Thank you so much. Yeah, not the funny stuff. I did a career day years ago with this group of first graders, and it came around to the fact that I was an agronomist. And so the teacher had me describe exactly what I did. And I said, well, I grow grass for a living. And these two little kids in the front row started laughing and kind of punching each other. And the other kid turned to the other kid and he said, that guy grows marijuana for a living. And I said, no, that's not what I do. But that was way before legalization too. So anyway, no, I grow grass. Let's make sure we're still on this end. Okay. You're on your own. I'm on my own. Glenn says I'm on my own. Glenn has helped me through this. So thanks.
That mic in your hand.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that. Where's my, there it is. So thanks for having me here today. I'm thrilled to be here. I tell people all the time, I'm thrilled to be anywhere, and that'll make a lot more sense as I continue through the presentation. I'm going to talk about some tools that you can use to conquer challenges and transform your life in both business and personal areas. Oops. Oh,
Down.
oh, that's good. Okay, there we go. The technical aspects are not my best, by the way. What is going on, folks? Okay. All right, let's try that. This is not, I told Glenn whenever I do these presentations, this part is the most terrifying for me. Once I get going, I'm okay. I'm fine talking in front of a group, but oh God, it's still not working. Like I said, it's always terrifying.
Is there a blank page in there?
No. Okay.
The next one.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's try again. Hey, I'm so thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me today. So let's start by talking about detours. You may have experienced a detour on your way over here. Am I right? Anybody experienced a detour? I mean, they happen all the time, right?
Road construction.
And if you haven't experienced a detour on your way here, you've experienced a detour in the last 2 to 3 years. Am I right? And I kind of say that tongue in cheek because COVID gave us a lot of detours. And detours to me, they cause us to change direction, don't they? I mean, we don't have a choice. We have to change direction. So detours equal change. Interesting thing about change. Do you know that there's an entire science that's built around change? Did anybody know that? An entire science built around it. And the science focuses on the underlying mechanisms that drive behavioral change. I found that out and I thought, well, that's interesting, but it's so important for our lives on a day-to-day basis. Ooh, I went to the next slide. I'm so excited. I achieved success. Thank you.
Good. Is that the next slide? Oh, yeah,
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal.
So top of change, I always look at life as being a journey. Your journey, like my journey, is very unique to you. No one else has your journey. And our journey really provides a unique chapter for you. And your chapter changes throughout your life, right? You've got many chapters and they change in a way that shape and mold who you are, the person that you are today, right now in 2023. So as the presentation continues, I want you to do something. I want you to think about your journey. I want you to think about your story. I want you to think about what chapter you're in right now, because that's important to you. And I want you to think about how the changes that you experienced in your life have led you to your 2023 person. Here's what I know about change. Change and the resulting growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better. I mean, you're going to change. It's going to happen. And hopefully it will make things better for you. I mean, life often travels on one of these winding roads. I love this slide. I think I love the slide. What is going on?
Just hit the down arrow.
Okay.
That's not working.
There's that winding road I keep talking about. That's the winding road, but life often travels on not that winding road. I promise you, I know how to use a computer. I actually do. I don't.
There's a delay, yeah.
Is this as exciting for you as it is for me? It should be. It should be. Yeah, you get a preview. See, I don't see that here. So anyway, remember the winding road? The winding road that we often travel on. I don't know about you guys, but I hate these kind of roads because they have twists and turns. They have ups and downs. And I don't like the fact that I don't know what's around the next corner. I don't like the fact that I don't know what's at the top of the next hill. It makes me crazy.
Just 5-4, she'll be happy.
What's that?
5-4.
Okay, exactly. These ups and downs and these twists and turns, they hide where we're headed, don't they? And we don't really know, although we want to believe we know where we're going, we don't really know what's at the next corner and what's at the next to the top hill, right? Reminds me of a roller coaster ride. Do we have the roller coaster ride? Hey, if everybody wants to come up here and look at my screen, I've got all these slides. They work perfect up here. There it is. So I have to understand there's a delay. I'm going to work okay. Okay, I'm going to put this one down. So that winding road reminds me of a roller coaster ride with its twists and turns and its ups and downs. I mean, it's really similar to that winding road, isn't it? Now, I love a good roller coaster ride. Do I have any roller coaster ride enthusiasts? I'm getting a no. I've got someone shaking their head no. You know, thrill seekers. And to me, a roller coaster ride is the most fun when it's the first time that you're on the ride, right? Roller coaster rides, to me, they represent the uncertainty of our life's journey and the changes in the journey. I remember going up that roller coaster ride with that steep climb, and then you got to the top and you didn't know where you were going, and then you did a loop and you did all these crazy things. The first time's always the toughest. The second time is easier, but the winding road and the roller coaster, they've got a lot of similarities, don't they? And to me, they talk to us about life. Oh, you're right, there is a delay.
There it is.
Again, we want to believe that we know what's ahead. We have that much confidence in ourselves that we want to know that we know what's around the corner. We know what's at the top of the next hill until out of nowhere, the unexpected happens. The unexpected is when everything's good and just as quickly, it's not anymore. I mean, has anybody in here expected one of those moments where things change and you didn't see that they were coming? You didn't see what was around the corner. You didn't see what was at the top of the hill. Anybody? Yeah, probably everybody. You know, it's often those detours that we don't expect. Even today, when you had that detour, maybe you didn't expect it. Maybe you knew it was there, but it was a detour that changed our direction in one of those unexpected moments. Well, for me, 17 years ago, my life took one of the biggest detours possible. I had one of those unexpected moments. September of 2005, I heard those three dreaded words, that no one plans to hear, no one certainly hopes to hear. I heard you have cancer. 30-second delay. More specifically for me, acute myeloid leukemia. I thought I knew where my life was going. I thought I knew what was at the top of the next hill. I thought I knew the next turn and exactly where I would be. And in the blink of an eye, it still gets me. In the blink of an eye, my life's journey changed. And I didn't know where that winding up and down road was going to take me. And the roller coaster rides that I was so excited about all the time, the roller coaster ride of life, got super serious for me because I understood I had a 25 to 30% chance of surviving the type of cancer that I had. 5 rounds of chemo and a stem cell transplant over 8 months saved my life. And on May the 12th of every year, I celebrate my new birthday. Yep, I get to celebrate 2 birthdays. Not everybody can do that, but I have a stem cell transplant birthday and I have my regular birthday in January. And I think the stem cell transplant birthday gets more attention because it means a lot. And this May, a couple of weeks ago, was my 17th transplant birthday. Yes, there was a dramatic pause. Well, I will, and by the way, excuse me for my sniffling, my allergy. It's funny, I work outside, right? I'm in the turf business and I work outside and my allergies go crazy this time of year. So I'm sniffling a little bit because of that. Well, I can tell you that my cancer chapter had a lot of moments of uncertainty, a lot of moments of fear, a lot of moments of doubt. And at the same time, I had a lot of moments of clarity. I mean, we're all hoping for clarity when we go through one of those unexpected moments, right? We always want better direction in terms of where we're headed. And sometimes those moments of clarity can result in a wake-up call. We all have wake-up calls, don't we? And cancer was my wake-up call. And believe it or not, it was something that I absolutely desperately needed. Cancer rocked my world. It caused me to think about everything that I believed I was, why I was going in the direction I was going. It caused me to really think about what I was focused on, the motivations I had, and where I was headed. You know, I didn't know the road ahead. I didn't know where it was taking me. It was really uncharted waters. Now, let me pause for a second and tell you that some of you may be thinking, what does this have to do with me? I hear this a lot. What does this have to do with me? I don't have cancer. I don't want cancer. I'm sorry you had cancer. And let me tell you, those are legit things to say. I get it. I get it. But maybe you've had your own wake-up call. I mean, I don't want you to have cancer, but I do want you to know and understand what I learned along the way. I had these big questions. I had these moments of reflection. Like I would ask myself, I mean, what can I learn from this? I mean, why did it happen? And what can I learn from this? And I would say, are there valuable, useful life tools that I can apply to my own life as I move forward? And to me, there were these 3 elements, these 3 items that kept blinking at me like some strobe light hitting me. And I refer to these 3 things as the 3 A's: adversity, attitude, and action. So I want to dive in to the 3 A's and see if they resonate with you. So let's start with the first A, which is adversity. And I think you can agree with me that adversity affects all of us at one time or another in life, and probably more than just one time. And it comes in many forms and many levels of intensity. And almost every day you have some type of adversity that affects your life. And it could be something as small as maybe you couldn't find your keys when you were trying to leave this morning. And then you found your keys and you went out to your car and your car didn't start. Well, those 2 things will make you crazy to begin with, but those are adversities. Those are small adversities. Or it could be something like an unexpected bill. It could be something more intense like the loss of a job, maybe the passing of a loved one, or something more intense like my adversity, my cancer. I mean, you're going to have something. Let's face it, you're going to have something. And big or small, intense or mild, those adversities do one thing. They test us all. They test who we are and where we're headed. And adversity can be such a downer, right? When I say the word adversity, do you think positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah, negative. Yeah, I do the same thing. Adversity doesn't sound good. And yet it can be an awesome, life-changing opportunity. I mean, it was for me. So here's something that you can do regarding adversity. I want you to commit this phrase to memory and repeat it when necessary. It's not the adversity, but how you react that can define and change the direction of your life. Try that with me. It's not the adversity, but how you react that can define and change the direction of your life. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It works for me and it works for you no matter the adversity. And to me, that puts you on a level playing field. It puts you more in control of the adversity. I know it's a simple phrase, but it jars your mind to change the way that you're thinking. So we can all agree, right, that adversity is an inevitable part of life, both in business and personal areas. So here are 3 things that you can do when you face adversity. Number 1, recognize it. What do I mean by recognize it? I mean, recognize that there's an adversity that's right in front of you. I know that if you don't do that, adversity can overwhelm you. It can consume you. Number 2, confront it. Ask what can you do to get beyond that moment. We have a tendency almost always to leap to the worst case negative scenario when we get to one of these moments. And it can make us powerless to act, powerless to move forward. And then number 3, overcome it. You overcome it by developing a plan to work through the adversity. And once you've got that plan, you need to apply it with a persistent and consistent manner so you can get through that adversity. And I want you to understand that this involves choice, a choice that we all make. How about the second A, attitude? This is really the first tool that you can use to work through adversity. Attitude. You may have heard that attitude is everything. And I believe this is absolutely true. I know in my case, it was everything. And I believe that with every fiber in my body. I mean, the reality is on good days or bad days, attitude sets the tone for the day, both negative and positive. It's not all about being positive all the time, but it can be negative as well. You know, I hear that people wake up on the wrong side of the bed. That's a reality, right? I mean, for whatever reason, you wake up and your attitude's not great. I mean, more than likely for us, something happens during the day that affects our attitude. So here's the good news about attitude. You get to change your attitude. You don't have to be stuck with your attitude. Attitude can lead to a solution, or it can make your adversity worse. Attitudes are that important. They're that powerful, and attitudes can change outcomes. Such a simple word, just a simple thought, but it can change outcomes. My oncologist, Dr. Fay at Baylor in Dallas, particularly later in my treatment, used to talk to me all the time about my attitude. We'd be sitting in the examining room and he'd almost immediately start talking about my attitude because I had made it through the cancer. He said, you know, your attitude was crucial to you surviving. In fact, it could have made the difference between life and death. And he used to get so excited because he wanted me to go next door and talk to the patient in the next room and explain to him the importance of attitude. Now, of course, I couldn't do that, but he would get excited about that. So because of that, I want you to remember 3 things about attitude. Number 1, a positive attitude is absolutely a game changer. Number 2, a positive attitude leads to opportunities and strengths. You know, a negative opportunity, it can block those opportunities and strengths that you have because we're not thinking in the right direction. And then number 3, a positive attitude translates to solutions. Think about that. It translates to solutions, and what I call a solutions mindset, where everything that your brain is focusing on is trying to find an answer to the spot that you're in that particular moment. Thomas Jefferson, 200 years ago, politician and businessman, said this: nothing can stop a person with the right mental attitude from achieving a goal. That was true 200 years ago, and it's true today, 200 years later. That's how important attitude is. And again, guess what? It's always a choice for all of us. Action. This is probably my favorite A, and it's the second tool that you can use. It's my favorite A because of its absolute power. Action is the effort, it's the ingredient that leads to change. No way to get around it. It makes an idea a reality. How many goal setters do I have? Do you write down goals at the beginning of the year? Do you realize that goals are nothing more than words on paper until you do one thing? You apply action to them. And that's probably where most of us get in trouble with goals. We write them down, they look nice. We don't do anything about it. We don't apply any action. I mean, the truth is, without action, nothing starts. You go nowhere. So think about that. I ask you to do a lot of thinking, but think about that. Can you recall a time in your life where action made the difference? Where doing something made a difference for you? Or maybe more appropriately, can you think about a time where inaction didn't make the difference or really made the difference? I love this illustration that talks about action. Water's super hot at 211 degrees. You won't put your hand in there, right? It boils at 212 degrees. That's 1 degree of difference. I mean, well, what do you have to do to get the 1 degree? You have to turn up the heat. Turning up the heat is action. Action leads to change and can alter outcomes. I mean, a lot of times I hear from people, you know, I can't get anywhere. I don't know what to do. I can't make things happen. What's wrong with me? My response is always, get busy taking action. I mean, sometimes taking action creates that thought in your head that finds the solution too, right? But action, oh, your device ran into a problem, it needs to restart. Oh my heck. That is ungood.
Action.
I need some action. I need some action. Yeah, so I have to maintain a positive attitude. I need to continue to think about this. But that's
Glenn
life.
come do your presentation.
What's that?
And have Glenn do the presentation.
Well, I don't know. Okay, but anyway, so that's important, right? It's 1 degree of action made the difference, right? It's only 1 degree of action, but that's everything that we do. Sometimes that 1 degree can make the difference for you. I promise you, we're actually almost over. So this is exciting if we can get back there. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you some stories about my childhood playing golf. It's going to be fun. Or maybe growing grass at Colonial. How about that? That would be actually more exciting, right? I was there I actually started there out of college, 1978. I was an assistant for 3 years there. And then I left, went to Denton Country Club for 5 months and went to Woodhaven Country Club for 7 months. And then the guy that hired me out of college left and they brought me back to be the golf course superintendent. So I was the superintendent from 82 through 87. And then I left and started a golf course design management consulting company with a Plano guy by the name of D.A. Wyburn. D.A. Wyburn was a business partner of mine and another gentleman that if you play golf, or maybe if you don't play golf, Byron Nelson was a great friend of mine, and he was also a partner in the business. So I had a chance to travel with Byron a little bit. We actually designed a couple of golf courses in Japan. One of them was called Byron Nelson Country Club, just north of Tokyo. No kidding. Byron went over there 3 times. What a great guy. He was in his 70s at the time, and he had more energy than all of us did. I'll never forget. We did a press conference in the afternoon to kick off the project. And this is again, he was in his mid 70s, I guess. So we did a project. We did a press conference. And then later in the day, Hal J from the local AM channel had asked him to do an interview. So he had to do it at 10 o'clock at night to make sure it was on the air in the morning. Byron said, okay. And he did it. He did it. Aren't these great questions? Hey, there we go. Has nothing to do with my presentation, but isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? This is the fun of going through things like that. So anyway, what's that? Adversity. Yeah, adversity, right? Oh, look at this. This is so exciting. It's up there on the screen. I don't see it here in front of me, but
Yeah, this may be as good as it gets, right?
okay. Well, we'll just make it through there. Can you change the slides for me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, where are we at? We're not there. We're on action. Let's go to action. Attitudes, everything, right? Is this sinking in? Is this making any sense? Is this resonating with you? I mean, I only have a couple more hours. I see this gentleman looking at his watch. I got 2 more hours. We got plenty of time.
Next one.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's go past that. Okay, so here's one of the interesting things about me. You asked something about me. So since my diagnosis, I've run 22 marathons. Now there's a bit of insanity in that, but I was doing it for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, raising money. But with every marathon, I stood at the start line and had to do one thing. I had to take the first step. I had to cross over the start line. Because if I didn't do that, I could never get to the end of the 26.2 miles. And if I thought about the 26.2 miles, it would be pretty daunting. That's a long way to go. So I had to start with one step. That one step is something that we all have to take. We all have to take the first step when we want to achieve a goal, when we want to overcome an adversity, when we want to move forward with anything, right? We've got to take the one step, because if we don't do that, we'll never get anywhere else. Okay. So action, let's wrap up action. Action, there's 3 things about action. It's really the catalyst that gets us going. It's the thing that leads to results. I mean, action is super, super important. And as simple as it can be, action leads to change, which equals success. So if you need to get something done, like I said before, I used to tell people, get busy, get jiggy. Maybe you've heard the song, get jiggy, get doing something, because that can change your life. Go ahead. And again, it's a choice. It's a choice for all of us. So all 3 of those things require choice. I talk a lot about choice. You've heard me say choice, 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 right? Almost to the point of being crazy or obsessive. But choice is so important. How many of you have stood in the proverbial fork in the road in your life? Yeah, we all stand in that fork in the road, right? And we have a decision to go right or left. And I can tell you that choice is often associated with change, because when you're going through change, you've got to make some kind of choice, don't you? You've got to make a decision to go right or left or whatever that might be. So choice is important for all of us, right? Go ahead.
No choice is a decision.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Not making a choice is absolutely a choice. And a lot of times we do that as a means of survival. We just keep doing that. So throughout my life, I made some interesting choices. I was really good in terms of being a grass grower. And then I became really good at being a business person, and had a chance to grow that company that I talked about. It was called Golf Resources, and really traveled the world doing a lot of projects. But through my life, I was pretty self-focused. I had relationships in my life, but they really didn't get much attention from me, right? So I had a lot of carnage around me, so to speak, without being too graphic. And so after I got through my cancer journey, I found the one tool. This is tool number 3. I found the one tool that I had pretty much ignored throughout my life. And that was a tool of relationships, right? And I found out about the power of relationships. You know, relationships are important for everything we do. Again, business and personal. And I didn't really think much about them. But when it comes to joy and happiness and success in your life, if you can't tie it to relationship, it doesn't matter. It has absolutely no real bearing, because relationships are foundational for us. They mean everything to me. And it was something that I did not focus on. Go ahead. An impact, the power of these relationships is impactful. Did you ever think about the influence that you have on people? You know that you have a sphere of influence. You know that every single one of you have a sphere of influence, right? Both home and work. You have people that look up to you. You have people that listen to you, and you do the same thing with other people, right? Well, for me, again, I didn't really have that. I just kind of carried on my life and didn't think about it. In fact, when it came to impact, when it came to people wanting to know things that I had to say, I gave them the Heisman. Everybody familiar with the Heisman move, right? We talked about TCU before. I lived next to TCU for years. TCU, we gave them the Heisman. I don't have time for you. Leave me alone. I'm busy. I'm going somewhere, right? And if I'd have thought about it in the right way, which I do now, it was more about others and not about me and the impact that I could make. And that became really paramount for me. It became the most important thing. That's why I'm here talking to you today. It's about the impact that we can all make in our lives. And these impacts that I talk about, they often occur in moments, 2 to 3 minute organic, unplanned, unscheduled conversations. You're walking down the hall and somebody that you know stops you and says, "Hey, I got a problem. I need some help. I need a napkin. I need," sorry. I need some help. And what I remember what I would do, I'd give them the Heisman. I don't have time, leave me alone, go away. But if you don't do that, if you listen to them and you give them the benefit of who you are and what you know, guess what? Guess what? It's like a drop of water hitting, go back. It's like the drop of water hitting a pond, smooth, clear pond. What happens? Creates these ripples. And we don't really know, we don't spend any time thinking about where the ripples go, do we? But you know, they continue to move on. That conversation you had may continue to ripple and in effect, make an impact on your life, and more importantly, make an impact on the other person's life, and really, in so many ways, change your legacy. Go ahead. You know, I started talking about the detours in life, right? And the fact that life is a journey. And then we all have these stories that are unique to us, and we have these chapters that make up our life story, right? And the fact that change has such an impact on who we are today. You know, we all have adversities that come our way, and it's how we apply the tools in our life, the attitude, the action, and the relationships that determine who we are, that in fact affect us in terms of our legacy. You know, it's not about what we accumulate in life. It's really about the relationships that we develop and how important they are. I promise you, when you die, people are not going to come to your funeral because of the car you drove, where you lived, how much money you made, where you vacation. They're going to come because of the relationship that they had with you. Next slide. So I hope, as I wrap up, I mean, this has been so much fun, hasn't it? Don't you love the technical stuff? I'm going crazy right now, but hey, look, I'm covering it up. I'm hiding it. But it's just, it's great to be in this place where I can talk to you about my journey and hopefully create some items, some tools that will resonate with you. You know, I made a decision after I got through my cancer that one of my dreams was to talk to groups like this, to share my message as much as I can. And that's why I'm honored to be here and talk to the Plano Rotary Club about who I am. And hopefully some of these things will click with you and mean something to you. So thank you so much for being a great audience. Thanks so much for going through me with great patience as we work through this thing. I want to continue doing this. So if you think of other opportunities for me to spread my message, let me know. There's my contact information. Grab me at the end of this and say, hey, Don, here's somewhere else you can go. I would love that. Thanks so much. Y'all, thank you. God bless you. Finish your race. Right here. You are not connected. No kidding.
I know. Sorry, my
It's-
life.
Hey, we're flexible.
Don, we have a question. Stand in front of the camera.
Oh, you have questions? Oh, my gosh. Okay. I rarely get questions. What's the question?
What was the cancer that you had?
I had acute myeloid leukemia.
Oh, it's a blood cancer.
The blood cancer, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Good question. Yeah, you know, I knew what cancer was, but I didn't know really what leukemia was. And I certainly have no idea how much of an impact it would have on my life. Yes, sir.
Were you with DA Wyburn when you redid a bunch of golf courses?
I'm still with DA Library. I probably talked to DA. Yeah, I mean, we actually did Waters Creek, which is right down the road. We actually did Pecan Hollow, which is right down the road. Is Waters Creek, is that Allen or is that Plano? But it's kind of works. And then we did Pecan, but I've done Sherrill Park with Richardson. Yeah, I've been with DA for a long time, all over the United States.
Great job.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. In fact, we're actually, I say we, because I'm still involved with DA from an agronomic standpoint. Right? We're redoing Sherrill Park Course 2 for the second time. We've done one twice. We're doing Sherrill Park for the second time. Yeah.
You
Great
know,
question.
ministers spend a lot of time working on relationships in the golf.
At the golf course.
You know, those are important relationships. You know, a lot gets done on a golf course.
Didn't you say that you're changing into your golf shirt after? Well, there you go.
I'm changing my shorts because I'm going down to Cedar Crest in Dallas because I'm working on a project down there right now. Yeah, so.
Did put iron, blood iron fence down there.
Yeah, they had to do that a long time ago.
Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
Don. We appreciate it. And our club's way of saying thank you for your time and program today is that we make a donation in your name to the Polio Plus Fund, which is the #1 initiative behind Rotary International. So we will donate $10 in your name, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches that 2-1. So that $30 will provide vaccines for approximately 50 children. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, next week, Brandon Maxey, one of our very own, is going to be doing an extended classification talk, telling us about who he is and what he does. And with that, if you will join me in the oh, yes.
Talk about the thank you note on the wall.
Oh, he missed that last week because you were at the lake.
No.
But we still have our beautiful sign, our thank you sign from Barron Elementary, where they made this, and the teachers and the PTA signed it in appreciation for the $2,000 donation we made to them. And did you come up and look at it and see all the little rotary wheels? We love it. We're going to keep folding it and putting it out because we love it so much. So now if you will join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun? Rotary